The fire in your soul is dying, Aries. That unstoppable force that once propelled you toward every goal is now smothering under the weight of an invisible enemy, perfectionism. You feel it, don't you? That constant hesitation before you act. That voice whispering that your best isn't good enough. That crushing anxiety when something you've created doesn't meet impossible standards. This isn't the Aries the universe designed you to be. Secret of the Zodiac is pulling back the cosmic curtain today to reveal the truth your soul has been aching to hear. Perfectionism isn't your ally in success. It's your greatest saboteur, and for a sign ruled by Mars, the planet of action and conquest, this poison is particularly devastating to your cosmic destiny. Let's face reality. You were born to be first, to pioneer, to charge ahead while others are still contemplating their first step. Your celestial blueprint carries the energy of spring itself, the unstoppable force that breaks through frozen ground after winter. But perfectionism has trapped that primal power in an endless loop of preparation without action, revision without completion, and criticism without creation. The stars aligned at your birth to create a being of courage, leadership, and bold initiative. When you look at the Aries constellation burning brightly in the night sky, do you see hesitation there? Do you see stars refusing to shine until they're perfect? Of course not. They blaze with unapologetic brilliance, caring nothing for how they compare to other stars or whether their light meets some arbitrary standard of perfection. This message is so crucial for your cosmic journey that I'm asking you to take action right now. Not tomorrow, not after you've perfected your approach, but now, by hitting that subscribe button and giving this video a like. This simple act of commitment will align your energy with the message of liberation I'm about to share. Consider it your first step toward breaking the perfectionism chains that have been holding back your Aries power. I understand the internal battle you're fighting. As an Aries, you naturally crave excellence. Your competitive spirit drives you to want to be the best. There's nothing wrong with high standards. They're part of your fiery nature. But there's a vast cosmic difference between striving for excellence and being paralyzed by perfectionism. Excellence energizes your Mars power. Perfectionism depletes it. Excellence celebrates progress. Perfectionism fixates on flaws. Excellence is about becoming better. Perfectionism is about avoiding judgment. Think about your most successful moments, the achievements you're proudest of. Did they come from playing it safe until everything was perfect? Or did they come from taking bold risks, learning through action, and adjusting course along the way? I already know the answer because I understand your Zodiac essence. The cosmos created you to be the spark that starts the fire, not the craftsman who spends years perfecting a single flame. Every moment you spend trapped in perfectionism's grip is a moment your true Aries energy remains unexpressed in a universe that desperately needs your particular brand of courage and initiative. Many Aries individuals confuse perfectionism with their natural desire for mastery and achievement. This misunderstanding has cost you opportunities, relationships, and most importantly, the joy that comes from living in alignment with your true cosmic nature. The pressure you put on yourself doesn't just affect your success, it dims your inner fire, the very essence that makes you who you are. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 12 specific ways this perfectionism trap is sabotaging your success. Each reason will resonate with different aspects of your Aries nature, illuminating how this subtle enemy has been operating in your life. More importantly, understanding these mechanisms will begin the process of liberation, allowing your true Mars energy to flow freely once again. The first 3 reasons cut to the heart of your Aries identity, revealing how perfectionism conflicts with the very core of who you were born to be. Are you ready to discover what's really been holding back your unstoppable Aries potential? The first reason, your fiery need for immediate results clashes with the meticulous pace. Perfectionism demands the cosmic contradiction couldn't be more striking. Mars, your ruling planet, pulses with urgent, explosive energy, like a rocket igniting, like a sprinter bursting from the blocks, like the first crack of thunder in a spring storm. This planetary influence infuses your spirit with an innate need for immediate action and visible results. When you want something, you want it now. When you have an idea, You're ready to implement it yesterday. This isn't impatience, it's your natural cosmic rhythm. But perfectionism, it operates on an entirely different timeline. It demands meticulous attention to every minute detail. It insists on endless revisions, constant tweaking, and perpetual improvement before anything can be considered ready. It creates a glacial pace that is fundamentally incompatible with your fiery Aries nature. This clash creates a spiritual and psychological friction that manifests as frustration, anxiety, and a peculiar form of exhaustion unique to Aries. You feel it as a constant internal pressure, like trying to hold back a powerful horse that's desperate to run. The energy expenditure isn't in the doing, it's in the restraining of your natural impulses. Consider how you feel when you're in flow, when you're taking bold action without overthinking, when you're moving at your natural Aries pace. There's an exhilaration, a sense of alignment with your true self. Your energy levels soar rather than deplete because you're operating in harmony with your cosmic design. Now contrast that with how you feel when perfectionism has you in its grip. You second-guess every decision. You labor over choices that your instincts could resolve in seconds. You revisit completed work, picking it apart until all joy in the creation is lost. This isn't just inefficient, it's a fundamental betrayal of your Aries essence. The successful Aries understands that speed and action are their superpowers, not liabilities to be controlled. They recognize that their first instincts are often their best, and that course correction after action is more aligned with their nature than endless deliberation before beginning. The second reason, you're missing vital opportunities while obsessing over insignificant details. The cosmos has blessed Aries with an unparalleled ability to recognize and seize opportunities. Your sign is associated with new beginnings, with the spark that ignites possibility. You're designed to be first to see potential, first to act, first to claim new territory. It's why so many pioneering entrepreneurs and trailblazers share your sign. But perfectionism creates a dangerous tunnel vision. While you're obsessing over getting every detail just right in one area, the universe continues to move. New doors open and close. Opportunities that were perfectly aligned with your path appear and then vanish before you even notice them. Consider how many times you've delayed launching a project, applying for a position, or even starting a conversation because conditions weren't perfect. How many of those opportunities disappeared while you were still preparing? How many times has someone else, likely not even doing the work as well as you could have, stepped in and claimed what could have been yours simply because they were willing to act without perfect preparation? This opportunity cost is particularly devastating for Aries because your cosmic gift is precisely this ability to recognize and capitalize on potential before others even see it. When perfectionism blinds you to the larger landscape of possibilities, it's not just slowing you down, it's actually neutralizing one of your greatest zodiac strengths. The successful Aries understands that timing often trumps perfection. They recognize that an imperfect action taken at the right moment frequently yields better results than a perfect action taken too late. They've learned to assess quickly what matters most, what details are essential, versus what details can be refined along the way. Think of it as the difference between a sniper and a warrior. A sniper waits for the perfect shot, remaining still and inactive until every condition aligns. A warrior engages, adapts, reacts, and conquers through movement and action. You, Aries, were born to be a warrior, not a sniper. Your success comes through engagement, not perfect preparation. The third reason, your natural leadership instinct becomes paralyzed by fear of making the wrong move. Leadership flows naturally from Aries energy. You were designed to be at the forefront, showing others the way, making decisions that propel the collective forward. This leadership quality isn't something you need to learn or develop. It's embedded in your cosmic DNA, as natural to you as breathing. But perfectionism introduces a poison into this natural leadership ability. The paralyzing fear of making the wrong move, when every decision must be perfect, when every choice carries the weight of potential failure. The bold, decisive leadership that should flow effortlessly from your Aries spirit becomes frozen in anxiety and doubt. This paralysis manifests in countless ways. You hesitate when you should act. You overthink when you should trust your instincts. You seek unnecessary input when you already know the direction to take. You delegate decisions that you should be making. Or worse, you prevent decisions from being made at all because no option seems perfect enough. True Aries, leadership isn't about making perfect decisions. It's about making timely decisions and having the courage to adjust course as needed. It's about showing others that progress comes through action, not endless deliberation. It's about creating momentum where there was stagnation. Consider the leaders you most admire. Do they wait until every variable is controlled before they act? Or do they assess the available information, trust their instincts, make a bold decision, and then adapt as new information emerges? I'd wager it's the latter, because that's effective leadership, and it's the natural Aries approach when not contaminated by perfectionism. The fear of making the wrong move is particularly insidious because it masquerades as responsibility. You tell yourself you're being thorough, careful, considerate, but beneath those rationalizations lies a deeper truth. You're afraid. Afraid of judgment, afraid of failure, afraid of not meeting some impossible standard you've set for yourself. The successful Aries leader understands that decisiveness itself has value, often independent of the specific decision made. They recognize that in many situations, any clear direction is better than no direction, and that their ability to inspire action in others comes not from being perfect, but from being confidently decisive. Your Mars energy gives you the courage to act when others hesitate. Perfectionism steals this gift from you, and by extension, from all those who would benefit from your natural leadership. When you allow perfectionism to paralyze your decision-making, you're not just harming your own success, you're depriving the world of the bold leadership that is your cosmic contribution. These first three reasons reveal how perfectionism directly attacks the core of your Aries identity. Your need for speed and immediate results, your ability to seize opportunities, and your natural leadership instinct. But the damage doesn't stop there. As we'll explore next, perfectionism also undermines your competitive edge, stifles your pioneering spirit, and transforms your natural confidence into self-doubt. These effects reach beyond your actions and into your very self-perception as an Aries. The fourth reason, your competitive edge dulls when you compare your rough drafts to others' finished products. Competition runs in your Aries blood. Unlike other signs that might shy away from comparison, you naturally thrive when measuring yourself against worthy opponents. This competitive spirit is one of your greatest strengths. It pushes you to excel, to surpass limitations, to achieve what others consider impossible. When channeled properly, this competitive drive becomes rocket fuel for your success. But perfectionism distorts your competitive instinct in a critically damaging way. It tricks you into making fundamentally unfair comparisons, specifically comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel. You look at your work in progress, with all its flaws and rough edges still visible, and measure it against the polished, final versions others present to the world. This is like comparing a sketch to a masterpiece, a rehearsal to opening night, or a rough draft to a published novel. The comparison isn't just unfair, it's fundamentally meaningless. Yet perfectionism convinces you that this comparison is valid, that the gap between your current state and others' finished work represents a fundamental inadequacy on your part. The effects of this distorted comparison are devastating. Your natural competitive fire, which should energize and motivate you, instead becomes a source of discouragement and self-doubt. Rather than spurring you to greater heights, competition begins to feel like evidence of your insufficiency. You start avoiding competitive situations altogether, not because you don't want to win, but because you're afraid of confirming your perceived inadequacy. Consider how this plays out in real terms. You see a competitor's finished product, business, or achievement. Instead of being motivated to create your own version, you become fixated on all the ways your current efforts don't measure up. You either abandon your project entirely or get stuck in an endless cycle of refinement, never actually completing or launching anything because it never seems good enough compared to what you see others producing. The successful Aries understands that everyone's finished products began as rough drafts. They recognize that the appropriate comparison isn't between their beginning and someone else's end, but between their own starting point and current progress. They maintain their competitive edge by competing primarily with themselves, striving to be better today than they were yesterday, while using others' achievements not as discouraging comparisons, but as inspiring proof of what's possible. The fifth reason: your pioneering spirit can't breathe when trapped in endless revision cycles. The pioneering spirit is perhaps the most definitive characteristic of Aries energy. You're cosmic designed to venture into uncharted territory, to go where others haven't gone, to discover what hasn't yet been discovered. This isn't just something you do, it's who you are at your core. The first sign of the Zodiac is inherently about firsts. First attempts, first discoveries, first steps into new realms. Perfectionism, however, creates a closed loop that prevents forward movement. Rather than progressing to new territories, perfectionism keeps you circling the same ground repeatedly, refining and revising what you've already done instead of pioneering what hasn't yet been attempted. It's like being stuck in an endless rehearsal when you were born to perform. This endless revision cycle is particularly soul-crushing for Aries because it contradicts your fundamental cosmic purpose. Every moment spent refining what's already been created is a moment not spent creating something new. Every hour invested in polishing existing work is an hour not invested in breaking new ground. For a sign whose essence is about initiating new beginnings, this state of perpetual refinement without completion feels like spiritual suffocation. Think about how much of your creative energy has been consumed by perfectionist revision cycles. How many projects have you started with enthusiasm, only to get bogged down in endless tweaking? How many ideas have remained in development limbo, never seeing completion because they never seemed ready? How many times have you found yourself working on version 7.0 of something when your spirit was aching to begin version 1, ditto of something else entirely? The successful Aries understands that their greatest contribution comes not from perfecting a single creation, but from initiating many creations. They recognize that their pioneering spirit needs a regular expression, that they must constantly be venturing into new territories, rather than endlessly refining familiar ones. They've learned to embrace a good enough to launch standard that allows completion and enables them to move on to their next pioneering venture. Remember, Aries, history remembers the pioneers more than the perfectors. The first person to achieve something, even imperfectly, generally makes a greater mark than the 100th person to do it slightly better. Your cosmic gift is being first. Don't let perfectionism rob you and the world of your pioneering contributions. The sixth reason: your bold confidence transforms into crippling self-doubt when perfection becomes the only acceptable outcome. Bold confidence is your birthright as an Aries. When aligned with your cosmic design, you naturally possess an unshakable faith in your abilities, a certainty that you can rise to challenges, and a courageous willingness to step into situations that would intimidate others. This confidence isn't arrogance. It's an accurate recognition of the powerful Mars energy that flows through you. But perfectionism creates an impossible standard. Nothing less than perfection is acceptable. And since perfection is, by definition, unattainable in human endeavors, you're essentially setting yourself up for inevitable failure. The psychological impact of this impossible standard transforms your natural, bold confidence into crippling self-doubt. This transformation happens gradually but inexorably. Each time you fall short of perfection, as you inevitably must, perfectionism frames this as a failure rather than as a normal part of the learning and achievement process. Over time, these accumulated failures erode your natural confidence, replacing it with a growing conviction that you're somehow fundamentally inadequate. The effects manifest in increasingly restricted behavior. You begin avoiding challenges that you once would have embraced enthusiastically. You hesitate to share your ideas, fearing they'll be judged and found wanting. You procrastinate on beginning projects because you're uncertain you can execute them perfectly. You stop taking risks because the possibility of imperfect outcomes feels unbearable. Consider how different this is from your true Aries nature. The cosmic warrior is meant to charge boldly forward, confident in their ability to handle whatever comes. They're designed to learn through action, to grow through experience, to develop mastery through a willingness to be temporarily less than masterful during the learning process. When perfectionism converts your confidence to self-doubt, it doesn't just slow your progress, it fundamentally alters who you are. This transformation is particularly tragic because confidence itself is one of your greatest assets as an Aries. Your natural belief in yourself inspires others, creates opportunities, and enables you to persevere through challenges. When perfectionism steals this confidence, it doesn't just make you feel bad, it actively diminishes your effectiveness and impact in every area of your life. The successful Aries understands that confidence comes not from being perfect, but from being resilient. They know that their self-worth isn't tied to flawless performance, but to their willingness to show up, engage fully, learn from outcomes, and continue moving forward regardless of temporary setbacks. They've learned to define success not as perfection, but as courageous participation and growth. Reclaiming your natural confidence requires recognizing perfectionism as the false standard it is. Your worth as an Aries isn't determined by how flawlessly you perform, but by how authentically you express your pioneering, courageous, action-oriented essence. When you measure yourself against your own cosmic design, rather than against an impossible standard of perfection, your natural confidence can resurface and once again become the powerful force it was meant to be. As we've explored these three crucial ways, perfectionism undermines your Aries nature by dulling your competitive edge, stifling your pioneering spirit, and transforming your confidence into self-doubt. A pattern emerges. Perfectionism doesn't just affect what you do, it attacks who you are at the most fundamental level. It doesn't merely hinder your external success, it erodes your internal connection to your authentic Aries essence. But this exploration has only reached the halfway point. In our next segment, we'll examine how perfectionism drains your natural enthusiasm, paralyzes your decisive nature, and diminishes your ability to inspire others. 3 more ways this insidious force may be sabotaging your success as an Aries. The 7th reason: your signature enthusiasm drains away as perfectionism turns exciting challenges into exhausting obligations. Enthusiasm is your natural state as an Aries. When you're aligned with your cosmic design, you approach challenges with an infectious energy that galvanizes not just yourself, but everyone around you. This enthusiasm isn't just a pleasant personality trait, it's a powerful force that propels you through difficulties, attracts opportunities, and creates momentum where none existed before. It's one of your most valuable assets. But perfectionism fundamentally alters your relationship with challenges. What should be exciting adventures become exhausting obligations. What should feel like play begins to feel like grueling work. The joy of creating, competing, and conquering, so natural to your Aries spirit, gets buried under the heavy weight of impossible expectations. This transformation happens because perfectionism shifts your focus from the exhilarating process to the anxiety-inducing outcome. Instead of being fully present in the moment of creation or competition, enjoying the surge of Mars energy as you engage with challenges, your attention fixates on the final result and all the ways it might fall short of perfect. The journey, which should be fuel for your fire sign's enthusiasm, becomes merely a stressful path to a potentially disappointing destination. Think about how you feel when you're in the grip of perfectionism. The spontaneity disappears, the playfulness evaporates, the creative joy fades. You find yourself forcing your way through tasks that once energized you, checking items off a list without any emotional engagement. You're going through the motions, but the vital spark, that signature Aries enthusiasm, is notably absent. This enthusiasm drain doesn't just make life less enjoyable, it significantly impacts your effectiveness. Enthusiasm is a form of emotional energy, and when it's present, you can accomplish extraordinary things without feeling depleted. It's like having a tailwind pushing you forward. Without it, every task requires more effort, more willpower, more conscious pushing against resistance. The same accomplishment that would energize you when approached with enthusiasm will exhaust you when approached with perfectionist obligation. The successful Aries understands that their enthusiasm is not just a mood, but a crucial resource that must be protected. They recognize when perfectionism is draining their natural excitement and take steps to reconnect with the intrinsic joy of the process rather than focusing solely on the outcome. They deliberately cultivate a playful, adventurous approach to challenges, knowing that this attitude is more aligned with their cosmic design and more likely to produce not just success, but sustainable, energizing success. The eighth reason, your decisive nature becomes indecisive when every choice must be flawless. Decisiveness is one of your greatest strengths as an Aries. When operating from your authentic cosmic blueprint, you assess situations quickly, trust your instincts, make clear choices, and move forward without excessive deliberation. This decisiveness is not just a personality trait, but a strategic advantage that allows you to seize opportunities, establish direction, and create momentum while others are still weighing options. Perfectionism, however, introduces a crippling element into your decision-making process. The requirement that every choice be not just good, not just excellent, but absolutely flawless. Under this impossible standard, even minor decisions become fraught with anxiety. Should I use this word or that one? Should I pursue this strategy or that one? Should I wear this outfit or that one? Questions that your natural Aries instinct would resolve in seconds become agonizing dilemmas that consume hours or days. This decision paralysis manifests as constant second-guessing, endless research, excessive consultation with others, and a persistent feeling that you need just a little more information before you can decide. The result is that many decisions never get made at all, while others come so late that their effectiveness is severely compromised. Consider how this affects your productivity and progress. A typical day contains hundreds of decisions, from significant strategic choices to minor operational ones. When each of these decisions becomes a potential minefield of perfectionist anxiety, your forward momentum grinds to a halt. Projects that should take days stretch into weeks. Goals that should be achieved in months remain unfulfilled after years. But the damage goes beyond mere efficiency. Decision paralysis also affects how others perceive and respond to you. Your natural Aries leadership relies heavily on your ability to make clear, confident decisions that others can follow. When perfectionism renders you indecisive, your capacity to lead is fundamentally compromised. People begin to lose confidence in your direction, seek guidance elsewhere, or simply move forward without you. The successful Aries understands that good decisions made promptly are almost always more effective than perfect decisions made too late. They recognize that their instinctive, gut-level responses are actually one of their greatest gifts, a form of rapid pattern recognition that processes information faster than conscious deliberation ever could. Rather than distrusting these instincts in the pursuit of perfect decisions, they cultivate and refine them, learning to distinguish between authentic intuition and fear-based hesitation. Remember, Aries, your decisiveness is not a liability to be controlled, but a superpower to be embraced. In a world where many people are paralyzed by options, your natural ability to cut through complexity, establish clear direction, and move forward confidently is a rare and valuable trait. Don't let perfectionism rob you and those who depend on your leadership of this essential Aries quality. The ninth reason, your ability to inspire others diminishes when you're too critical of their efforts. Inspiration is an often overlooked but incredibly powerful aspect of your Aries nature. When you're operating from your authentic cosmic design, you naturally inspire others through your courage, your initiative, your willingness to go first, and your contagious enthusiasm. This ability to kindle motivation and excitement in those around you is one of your most valuable contributions to any team, relationship, or community. Perfectionism, however, transforms your potentially inspiring presence into a critical one. When you hold yourself to impossible standards, you inevitably begin applying those same standards to others. The encouragement that should naturally flow from your fire sign energy gets replaced by criticism, correction, and an excessive focus on flaws rather than strengths. This shift is rarely a conscious choice. You don't wake up one morning and decide to become hypercritical. Rather, it's the inevitable consequence of the perfectionistic mindset. If nothing short of perfection is acceptable for you, how can you genuinely celebrate others' imperfect efforts? If every flaw in your own work looms large in your perception, how can you not see the flaws in others' contributions? The impact of this transformation is profound. People who might otherwise be energized by your Aries fire begin to feel burned by it instead. They become defensive rather than inspired, cautious rather than courageous, reluctant to share their ideas rather than enthusiastic about collaborating. The very qualities that should make you a natural leader, your initiative, your passion, your forward momentum, become sources of tension and resistance when filtered through perfectionism's critical lens. Consider how this affects your relationships and collaborations. Have you noticed people becoming less forthcoming with their ideas around you? Do team members check with others before bringing proposals to you? Do friends or family members seem hesitant to share their accomplishments or creative efforts? These might be signs that your perfectionism has transformed your naturally inspiring presence into an intimidating, critical one. The damage extends beyond your immediate interactions to affect the overall culture you create around you. As an Aries, you naturally set the tone and establish the energy in your environments. When that energy becomes hypercritical due to perfectionism, you inadvertently create spaces where innovation is stifled, risk-taking is discouraged, and authentic expression is suppressed. The exact opposite of the vibrant, courageous environments your Aries nature is designed to create. The successful Aries understands that their greatest impact comes not from ensuring perfection in every detail, but from inspiring courageous action in others. They recognize that flaws and mistakes are not just inevitable, but are essential components of growth and innovation. Rather than focusing their fire energy on critical judgment, they use it to ignite possibility, encourage bold attempts, and celebrate progress regardless of outcome. Remember that your Aries essence is fundamentally about beginnings, about having the courage to start something new despite the risks and uncertainties. When you honor this essence in yourself and others, when you celebrate brave beginnings rather than demanding perfect execution, you reclaim your natural ability to inspire and lead others not through criticism, but through courageous example. As we've now explored 9 significant ways perfectionism undermines your Aries nature, from clashing with your need for immediate results to diminishing your ability to inspire others, a comprehensive picture emerges of how this seemingly positive trait actually sabotages your authentic power and potential success. Yet we've only scratched the surface. In our next segment, we'll examine the final 3 reasons perfectionism is destroying your success, how it keeps your entrepreneurial ventures in perpetual planning phases, buries your authentic self-expression, and weakens the resilience that should be your birthright as a Mars-ruled sign. The 10th reason: your entrepreneurial ventures remain dreams because launching requires embracing imperfection. Entrepreneurship flows naturally from your Aries energy, the visionary capacity to see possibilities where others see nothing, the courage to venture into uncharted territory, the leadership to rally resources and people around a new idea. These entrepreneurial qualities are woven into your cosmic DNA. It's why so many Aries individuals feel drawn to creating their own paths, launching their own ventures, and building something that bears their unique signature. But perfectionism creates an almost insurmountable barrier between entrepreneurial vision and actual implementation. The stark reality of entrepreneurship is that launching anything new inherently requires embracing imperfection. The first version of any product, service, business, or creative venture will inevitably be flawed, incomplete, and far from the ideal vision that inspired it. This isn't a bug in the entrepreneurial process. It's a feature. It's how innovation works. For the perfectionist Aries, however, this inherent messiness becomes intolerable. Rather than launching with a functional but imperfect version 1.0, and improving through real-world feedback, you remain trapped in an endless pre-launch phase, continuously refining, revising, and restructuring without ever reaching the critical moment of actual implementation. This pattern manifests in countless half-completed entrepreneurial efforts. The business plan that's been almost ready for years, the website that's perpetually under development, the product that's forever in final testing, the book that's still being polished. Behind each of these stalled ventures lies an Aries visionary whose perfectionism has effectively imprisoned their entrepreneurial spirit. The cost of this pattern extends far beyond the individual ventures that never launch. Each time you allow perfectionism to prevent implementation, you miss crucial learning opportunities that only come through actual market engagement. You forfeit the chance to develop the entrepreneurial muscles that only strengthen through the cycle of launch, feedback, adaptation, and relaunch. Most importantly, you deny yourself the profound satisfaction of bringing something from imagination into reality, a satisfaction that is particularly vital for your creator-oriented Aries spirit. Consider how this pattern has played out in your own life. How many brilliant ideas have remained forever in the planning stage? How many ventures have you abandoned not because they lack potential, but because you couldn't bear to launch them in their imperfect state? How much entrepreneurial experience and success have you sacrificed at the altar of perfectionism? The successful Aries entrepreneur understands that launching is inherently an act of courage rather than an achievement of perfection. They recognize that the most successful ventures in history began as deeply imperfect offerings that evolved through market feedback and iterative improvement. Rather than seeking perfect readiness before launching, they determine the minimum viable version of their vision, the simplest implementation that can provide real-world feedback, and boldly bring that version into existence, knowing they can and will improve it over time. Remember, Aries, your entrepreneurial gift isn't creating perfect ventures. It's having the courage to bring new possibilities into existence despite the inevitable imperfections. When you embrace this truth, your brilliant ideas can finally make the crucial leap from imagination into reality where they belong. The 11th reason your authentic self-expression gets lost beneath layers of polished performance. Authenticity is a cornerstone of Aries energy. When aligned with your cosmic design, you express yourself with refreshing directness, uninhibited enthusiasm, and a powerful genuineness that others find both compelling and inspiring. This authentic self-expression isn't just personally fulfilling, it's magnetically attractive, drawing opportunities, relationships, and possibilities toward you that align with your true nature. Perfectionism, however, creates a growing gap between your authentic self and your external expression. As you become increasingly concerned with how your words, actions, and creations will be judged, you begin constructing layers of polished performance that obscure your raw, unfiltered Aries energy. You edit your speech, carefully curate your image, and present only those aspects of yourself that you believe will meet the impossible standard of perfection. This process happens gradually but inexorably. At first, it might seem like simple refinement, learning to present yourself more effectively. But over time, the editing becomes more extensive, the self-censorship more severe, until eventually, your authentic expression is buried beneath so many layers of perfectionistic polish that even you have difficulty accessing it. The consequences of this loss are profound. Without authentic self-expression, your relationships become shallower as people connect not with your true self, but with your carefully constructed facade. Your creative work loses the distinctive energy that makes it uniquely yours, becoming technically proficient but spiritually flat. Most significantly, you lose access to the powerful Aries intuition that flows most freely through authentic expression, leaving you disconnected from your cosmic guidance system. Consider how this pattern affects your daily experience. How often do you find yourself censoring your true thoughts or feelings to present a more perfect version of yourself? How frequently do you edit your creative expression not for clarity or impact, but to avoid potential criticism? How much energy do you expend maintaining a polished exterior rather than allowing your natural Aries fire to shine unfiltered? The impact extends beyond personal fulfillment to affect your effectiveness and success. Authentic self-expression carries a magnetic power that polished performance can never achieve. People are drawn to genuineness, respond to unfiltered passion, and trust transparent communication in a way they never will with perfectly constructed presentations. When perfectionism buries your authenticity, it doesn't just diminish your joy, it actively reduces your influence and impact. The successful Aries understands that their greatest power lies not in perfect presentation, but in authentic expression. They recognize that the very qualities perfectionism might prompt them to hide, their intensity, their directness, their unfiltered enthusiasm, are actually their most magnetic and influential attributes. Rather than polishing these qualities away, they learn to channel them effectively while preserving their essential authenticity. Remember that your Aries energy is fundamentally about raw, primal power, the unstoppable force of spring, breaking through winter's grip. This power isn't meant to be contained, controlled, or perfected. It's meant to be expressed authentically, allowed to flow freely, trusted to find its own most effective channels. When you release the need for perfect presentation and reconnect with authentic expression, you reclaim the magnetic influence that is your birthright. The 12th reason: your Mars-ruled resilience weakens as perfectionism turns normal setbacks into devastating failures. Resilience is perhaps your greatest inherent strength as an Aries. Ruled by Mars, the planet of warfare and conquest, you're cosmically designed to face opposition, overcome obstacles, and bounce back from setbacks with remarkable speed and determination. This resilience isn't just about enduring difficulty. It's about emerging from challenges stronger, wiser, and more effective than before. It's a superpower that, when fully activated, makes you nearly unstoppable. But perfectionism fundamentally alters your relationship with setbacks and failures. What should be viewed as normal, expected, even valuable learning experiences become devastating evidence of personal inadequacy. The perfectionist mindset transforms ordinary bumps in the road into catastrophic failures that call your entire worth and capability into question. This distortion occurs because perfectionism establishes an impossible standard. Anything less than perfection equals failure. Under this binary thinking, there's no room for the concept of partial success, progress, growth, or valuable learning through mistakes. You either achieve perfection, impossible, or you fail, inevitable. With failure guaranteed by this warped standard, each setback becomes not just a normal part of any journey, but proof that you're fundamentally inadequate. The impact on your natural resilience is profound. Instead of bouncing back quickly from setbacks as your Mars energy should enable, you become increasingly vulnerable to being derailed by them. Each failure, by perfectionist standards, chips away at your confidence, drains your determination, and makes you more hesitant to try again. The warrior spirit that should help you rise stronger from every fall gradually weakens under perfectionism's constant message that falling itself is unacceptable. Consider how this pattern has affected your own resilience. Have you noticed yourself becoming increasingly devastated by criticism or setbacks that once wouldn't have faced you? Do you find yourself avoiding challenges where failure is possible, playing it increasingly safe? Has your recovery time from disappointments lengthened, with setbacks affecting your mood and motivation for days or weeks rather than minutes or hours? These are signs that perfectionism has begun to erode the Mars-ruled resilience that should be one of your greatest assets. This weakening of resilience creates a dangerous downward spiral. As perfectionism makes you more vulnerable to being derailed by setbacks, you become increasingly risk-averse, avoiding situations where failure is possible. This avoidance prevents you from building the very resilience muscles that would help you bounce back more effectively. Your comfort zone steadily shrinks, your willingness to attempt challenging goals diminishes, and your potential for growth and achievement contracts accordingly. The successful Aries understands that resilience is strengthened through exposure to challenges, setbacks, and yes, failures. They recognize that their Mars energy is specifically designed to help them learn from defeat rather than be destroyed by it. Instead of seeing setbacks as devastating evidence of inadequacy, They view them as valuable data, necessary course corrections, and essential strengthening experiences on their path to mastery and achievement. Remember that in mythology, Mars wasn't the god who never faced defeat. He was the god who always rose to fight again, who learned from every battle, who grew stronger through opposition rather than being diminished by it. This is your cosmic inheritance as an Aries, not the inability to fail, but the remarkable capacity to transform failure into fuel for your next success. As we've now explored all 12 ways perfectionism undermines your authentic Aries power, the full picture emerges with stark clarity. Perfectionism isn't just a quirky personality trait or a minor hindrance to your success. It's a fundamental distortion of your cosmic design, a force that actively works against every natural strength and gift that makes you uniquely powerful as an Aries. But this recognition, while potentially sobering, also points toward a clear path forward. By identifying how perfectionism has been sabotaging your authentic Aries nature, you've taken the first crucial step toward liberating yourself from its grip. In our final segment, we'll explore practical strategies for breaking free from perfectionism and reclaiming the bold, pioneering, resilient Aries energy that is your cosmic birthright. The truth has been revealed, Aries. The invisible enemy that's been sabotaging your cosmic potential isn't external competition, insufficient talent, or lack of opportunity. It's perfectionism, a force that systematically attacks every natural strength that makes you the powerful, pioneering force you were designed to be. We've uncovered 12 distinct ways this enemy operates within you. Your fiery need for immediate results clashes fundamentally with perfectionism's meticulous pace. Your ability to seize opportunities is compromised while you obsess over insignificant details. Your natural leadership becomes paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong move. Your competitive edge dulls when comparing your beginnings to others' endings. Your pioneering spirit suffocates in endless revision cycles. Your bold confidence transforms into crippling self-doubt when perfection becomes the only acceptable outcome. We've seen how your signature enthusiasm drains away as perfectionism turns exciting challenges into exhausting obligations. How your decisive nature becomes indecisive when every choice must be flawless. How your ability to inspire others diminishes when you become too critical of their efforts. How your entrepreneurial ventures remain dreams because launching requires embracing imperfection. How your authentic self-expression gets buried beneath layers of polished performance. And finally, how your Mars-ruled resilience, perhaps your greatest strength of all, weakens as perfectionism transforms normal setbacks into devastating failures. This comprehensive understanding isn't merely intellectual, it's a cosmic key unlocking your authentic power. By recognizing perfectionism, not as a virtue, but as a distortion of your true nature, you've taken the first crucial step toward liberation. The path forward isn't about becoming perfect at overcoming perfectionism. That would be another trap. It's about reconnecting with your essential Aries qualities: boldness, initiative, courage, resilience, and the willingness to learn through action rather than being paralyzed by potential imperfection. Your cosmic birthright isn't perfection. It's the courage to begin, the resilience to continue despite setbacks, the leadership to inspire others through authentic example, and the pioneering spirit to venture where others fear to tread. When you release perfectionism's grip and allow these natural Aries qualities to flow freely, success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. This journey of reclaiming your authentic Aries power has just begun. At Secret of the Zodiac, we're committed to providing you with the cosmic insights and practical strategies you need to align with your true astrological nature and achieve the success you were born for. If this revelation about perfectionism has illuminated something important in your journey, take action now to continue this transformation. Subscribe to Secret of the Zodiac to ensure you never miss our daily Zodiac insights tailored specifically to unleash your sign's unique potential. With new videos every day addressing the specific challenges and opportunities facing each sign, you'll receive guidance precisely when you need it most. Leave a comment below sharing which of these 12 reasons resonated most deeply with you. Type Mars power, followed by the number that hit hardest, and share how perfectionism has affected your journey. Your experience might be exactly what another Aries needs to hear to recognize their own perfectionist patterns. Hit the like button to help more Aries warriors find this crucial message. The algorithm responds to your engagement, allowing us to reach more people who need this cosmic wisdom. Explore our extensive library of videos addressing specific challenges for each zodiac sign, from relationship dynamics to career strategies to personal growth journeys. We provide the astrological insights you need to navigate life's complexities with cosmic wisdom. If you found genuine value in this revelation, please consider supporting Secret of the Zodiac through Super Thanks. This financial contribution helps cover the costs of creating daily content and ensures we can continue providing these cosmic insights without compromise. Your support directly enables us to research, create, and deliver the high-quality astrological guidance you deserve. Remember, Aries, the universe didn't design you to be perfect. It designed you to be powerful. When you embrace your authentic cosmic nature, with all its bold, imperfect, pioneering glory, you don't just achieve success, you redefine it. Your journey continues now. We'll be right here, guiding you through every constellation of challenges, every step of the way.